Hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the final video of Wednesday. This is the fourth and final video, and it's going to go over my thoughts on the Cavalier Difficulty, things that I like, things that I don't like, and yeah, just all those other things. And yeah, this has been one of these odd ones. Like, it's quite late at the moment. I do need to get to bed. You know, M's got to start work early in the morning, and I just can't make this video and kind of the grind go too long into the night, as it's not good cricket, as they say. But yeah, like the main things I want to say is this does feel like a very time-consuming type of event quest. I'm not saying like well, it is time-consuming based on the type of event. Yes, if you got the right champion, you can blitz through this. I've got on screen at the moment something that I was trying. I didn't want to go all the time for like all the easy ones, all the easier paths to do. But yeah, I did feel like this was very time-consuming, with some paths taking about 15 minutes to do. I'm not saying that's like, oh, right, okay, 15 minutes, but it's like, it adds up. And especially if you're rocking champions that are, say, lower ranking, that aren't going to be outputting the same amount of damage, it does put it into a more time-consuming type of event. And look, you know, there's going to be players out there that will be able to smash this in a day. And they will be out there, by the way. And you do you at the end of the day. But there will be others that will be like, look, I need to kind of like focus on other content. There may be like some permanent content they need to do. There may be something like the arenas that they want to grind out. Maybe they're low on units. Maybe they need to shift their grind here or there. Or maybe they don't have the champion availability at the rarity they require because it's in something like Alliance Quest, or at some point it's going to be in Alliance War. So there's a lot of factors with that. But, you know, if you've got a stacked roster, stacked rarity roster, and yes, okay, the 4-star objective is there. So yeah, you can do that. And I would say that's the best thing for the easy path to do. But it's just a case that it's time consuming. It's more time consuming as 4 stars than it would be as 5 stars. Yeah, it's one of these situations where you have to think, you have to study, you have to prepare before going into any kind of quest. Like, you have to go, all right, so I can go down here. What do I want to do? Do I want to do disc track? Yeah, okay, disc track, yes, that's the thing. And there's the sliding immunity. And what do? Do I now bring in an incinerate champion? And like, the more that I thought about this when I came into this, like, well, Black Widow Clairvoyant's great because you don't have to worry quite so much about the poison and bleed being kind of shifted of the immunity, shrugged off. You can put in the incinerate damage, so you can do the rotation to the incinerate and then just output incinerates and keep that up, and then keep your damage rotating and high in order to get through certain things, especially when it comes to the likes of shifting immunity. And that is the thing, just kind of like thinking outside the box. Who else is that? Nebula you could use, Hyperion you could use. So there's a whole host of champions that relatively work for those things. But the point to get to is it's literally a huge studying manual you have to kind of like have before going into this stuff. And as well, the time thing, the time grind. It's not like a major bugbear for me, but when I'm doing a lot of editing and kind of creation, it's a case like, well, do I have the time? And I kind of missed off doing, one sitting, I think one day, did a whole load of the Herald side quests. So it's like, in the day-to-day, I didn't have enough time to do any Heralds in any kind of great like chunk. Except for one day, and that's the thing. There's been a lot of content out at the moment. You know, we've got the Omega quest out at the moment. I know people have smashed through that, but like, I'm about to go to bed, man. Like, it's crazy. It's crazy with the amount of content. But Cavalier Difficulty, from the fight standpoint, not eating damage through the block, which is great. Not a huge amount, which is nice. It feels like that's fair. The boss fights are fair as well. And the thing is, Kabam had to make them fair, as if you're putting 4 stars up against these, you've got to like make it less about what is in the Summoner Showdown, which is a very kind of difficult and complex fight to create, against what is essentially, you will need to do this if you want some decent stuff from this. These objectives, which are, you know, they're fun. Look, I'm not going to like overly badmouth them. To a degree, I don't like the way they're put together from a point of like, well, does it feel like you're probably going to be spending things like revives? Possibly, but I didn't see the extent of like how the bosses were created. And they're created all right. There will be certain counters that are good for certain things. You know, I've got against, I think Medusa used my Doctor Doom, so I could use Doctor Doom as a 4-star. I've got the 4-star. Kind of annoying now that I'm going to have to think about more about ranking up my 4 stars, which is a little bit of a drain on resources. But again, like, I can find ways to find the resources, gather the resources, and focus my attention to kind of growing that for that purpose. And yeah, I am only part way through doing Cavalier Difficulty. I am working my way through it. I'll probably do some more tomorrow when I wake up. But yeah, I just want to like have a fresh head looking at this. But either way, it's shaping up nicely. The Scarlet Witch fight was fine. At the end of the day, I feel I'm going to be using a lot of my Archangel. Archangel's a Don. He's an absolute Don for this like content, just for the point of like clearing lanes, clearing paths. Great for diss track, by the way, great for diss track, and so many other things as well. I was actually talking about the idea of using Warlock against Scarlet Witch. In all actuality, just used Archangel and just thought, just use that. I think the path clearing, it just feels to me, the paths seem to be the more trickier things, with the bosses being more fairer. But as I said, I think that's all about emphasis on, we've got to create something for the competitive edge for that 4-star, and especially to get the 10%. There's loads of like ways and areas now to pick up this and I would say that if you are looking again to grind out any content, is to do stuff like the Cavalier Difficulty first before doing the Omega quest, because you get a selector, and you can get the selector to then grab you that last chunk of tier 5 class catalyst fragments for your respective class that you want to grind out for. Yeah, so either way, I've probably put some footage of like some grinding of against some enemies, some things where I've done good, bad, or ugly, or whatnot. But yeah, just my thoughts on this is that this is good. The time-sensitive nature to things, and yeah, look, what does this quest run for? Like 30 days or something? Come on. 34 days. So there's a longer time for it to run. I don't know if that's going to be a staple thing, which I think would be a good thing, especially as I feel for me, I'm more than likely going to 100% this towards the last 2 weeks of the month, especially with Uncollected. I think I'm just going to like thrust myself into 100% that within the first few days, and then it's a case of like, you know, going to smash out Cavalier. But you know, so far so good. Finally, for me, it does feel that there does seem to be a balance. Like, it is time consuming, but at the same time, it doesn't mean you're going to be able to smash through with about, I don't know, 30, 40 hit champion fights, unless you've got a 6-star rank 3, in which that is what this content really is kind of made for. Those members of the community that have achieved those like bits of greatness. But will it be something that the aspiring roster developer can get up to? Yeah, of course. That's meant to be what this is meant to be. Somebody that has just become Cavalier to try and reach that point of doing this, that is what this is intended for, but as well may struggle when it comes to like having a diverse 5-star roster to then take on the content and do it quickly, and as well have it just so you've got the options, as we said, taking on those diss track meets that shifting immunity, where you're able to go like, right, well, I need a champion that does incinerate or does this or does that, kind of debuff and stacks it so that then I can then do damage against the enemy. So it's all about a bit of perspective, I think, between what ticks for one people's in the community, what ticks for another people's in the community, and it seems to strike a good enough balance, and especially with having that 4-star competitive edge to it. As I said, when I had my thoughts on this was based on not knowing the nodes, and it does seem that the nodes for the bosses seem rather fair, and that's the thing to point out, like, it does feel that that is fair. The health pools are large in order to not allow for, you know, your champion to do it in about 20 hits, but at the same time, you know, those with suicide masteries will get the added benefit of smashing this out a lot more quickly. That's not the correct term, but whatever, you get what I mean by that. And yeah, we'll kind of like see. I think a lot of opinions are really divided on the content. Some are saying they really love it, others say not so much. As I said, for me, I see some positives from it. I like it. There's things I do not like, but again, that just boils down to like having availability on time and grind, which is so important for me with what I do. But in any case, thanks very much for watching this video. Those have been my thoughts. What are your thoughts on Cavalier Difficulty? Put it in the comment section down below, and I'll see you tomorrow for some more videos. Good night and God bless.